we talked about mostly about Israel and everything like that, but there are also things happening here domestically.
Yes.
Like the government is still shut down. What are we in, like day 17 or 18
Today
of
is
the
day
government
14.
shutdown?
Today's day
Okay.
14.
So we're not that far in. I was like, I knew we're like at least 2 weeks in. Okay. Yeah. And there's like a ton of discussion. And also, by the way, we have protests that are coming up, the No King's Day, the National Guard deployments, which I want to talk about real quick because there's a lot of battle about Portland and Chicago specifically, Illinois and Oregon. And there's been in Chicago, a federal judge ruled that the National Guard troops can remain, but blocked street patrols or the protecting of federal property. I don't know how that works. Oh, okay. Meanwhile, in Portland, a U.S. district judge fully blocked the National Guard from deploying on Saturday. So you have one saying like they can deploy, but they can't do anything. And then the other one's being like, you can't deploy at all. Also in Chicago today, there was a ruling. I think they have until midnight today over at the Broadview facility, which is where all of these protests have been happening, to take down some fencing that they had erected to protect the facility. Because the city argues that the fencing blocked emergency vehicles from getting through. Okay. So now they have to take down that fencing and I think they're going to do some other alternative like barricades. And also in all of that, this weekend, while, everyone's kind of running or doing their business and we're concerned about Israel, you had state patrol. So this was in Illinois. So you had Illinois State Patrol who had to intervene with the protesters outside that Broadview facility to push them back. So all of this time about how like law enforcement wasn't responding, it was not Chicago PD, ended up being the state police that had to respond.
Yeah.
And I bring this all up.
Okay. I see where you're going.
Because Memphis also has National Guard that have been deployed and nobody is talking about them. And I would argue because the deployment of National Guard to Chicago and Portland is primarily to protect the federal buildings and the federal officers. However, in Memphis, even though there are ICE operations, it's more about dealing with crime, which I would argue is not within jurisdiction.
Yeah. But why aren't they talking about it then? You would think that would be a very handy talking point.
You would think, especially since
Democrats.
Memphis is it's a Democrat city, predominantly Black city.
So what do you think is the reason that they're not talking about it?
Well, I mean, first of all, one of the issues with it, or not the issues, one of the issues for the Democrats or one of the challenges is that the governor here in Tennessee is a Republican. Yeah. So there has been a request for the National Guard. And I believe there's also reports that it's going to happen in New Orleans next. And the New Orleans governor is also a Republican. So that's going to be a request. So because of the request, you can kind of say it's being done on the up and up, but fellow governors could be pointing out that fellow Republican governors are undermining and being, I don't know,
law enforcement,
racist, exactly, against the Black blue cities in their states, but nobody is talking about it. Like literally nobody is talking about it. In fact,
you think it's just because everybody's so consumed and busy with other domestic issues?
Well, I also think it's because I'm going to play this guy who lives in Memphis.
All I want to say is, Trump, you're doing your big thing, man. We got the kids back outside on their bikes. The lawnmower's back going, the dog's back barking. Memphis is looking real good out here, man. Hey, man, you did your big one, man. Appreciate you for helping cleaning up Memphis. Hey, MPD, well, I don't even know what to say about y'all. I done walked to the store. Y'all got me a bag of ice. I ain't walked to the store in about 20 years. You ain't got to worry about no pow, pow, pow. You ain't got to worry about no...
So maybe they're just like, don't say anything because it's kind of working.
Because it's kind of working.
We needed this. I love this for us, even if it's maybe a little bit against the law, maybe.
Well, and that's my thing. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, I do not think you should be deploying National Guard, federal, to take care of local
state
crime.
law enforcement.
Exactly. Absolutely. However, I'm wondering, because this to me is looking like an entire, I don't want to say setup, but like a staging. Let's say this is a staging of course, yes, they care. The president cares about, he absolutely cares about crime. He absolutely cares about illegal immigration. He does not appreciate in any way, shape, or form, like, death of citizens. He doesn't like it in Israel. He doesn't like it in the Ukraine, and he especially doesn't like it here in the United States. Okay.
Yeah.
And so this is how he believes is the quickest and most effective way to have a solution. Now, the Democrats, of course, are trying to frame this as it's rooted in authoritarianism. He's going to put the military throughout the entire United States, and we're going to be under martial law or whatever, which is not really my concern at all, because honestly,
I mean, we'd be under martial law. Yeah, come on.
Yeah, like, it's not my concern. Yeah. But I think, like, you have to admit that we are going to run into an issue, because what happens, like, the National Guard can't be there forever. So what are you going to do if, like, once they come back, or they, retreat or whatever, however you want to frame it, and then crime comes back? So there has to be some kind of crime bill or something is being worked in the pipeline. Yes. There has to be a solution. And so I think, and just like you're having the issue right now with the government shutdown, and the Democrats trying to frame this as an issue of healthcare, which they're staging it, I believe, in preparation for the midterms, to make healthcare a midterm issue. Yeah. And if the Republicans are smart, they get the government opened back up, and they do deal with the healthcare situation. You can't deal with it, though, right now, if the government's shut down, which, in my opinion, I feel like the Democrats want it to be shut down longer so it can't be dealt with. So then it does become an issue during the midterms. That's how I see it. But the same thing you can apply to crime. And so my question is once the National Guard is no longer in these cities, and if crime does return to be an issue, then the Republicans come and present a bill, a crime bill, what have you, whether it be funding or whatever shape it takes, it will put the Democrats in a position of either voting for it or against it, because the argument's going to be, look, I fixed the crime issue. Now we need to maintain it.
Yeah.
And if we don't maintain it, it's going to come back. So are you going to vote against this because you don't care and you want crime to return to where it was after I fixed it?
Right.
So I feel like this is kind of
it's forcing an issue. It's going to force people to get real about what they actually think about the crime in these cities. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of, speaking of immigration and the Department of Homeland Security.
Yes. I think I know what you're going to play.
I want to play this. So SNL did a skit this weekend, and I want to play the original skit first. So Tina Fey came back. I think Amy Poehler was hosting. And so Amy Poehler is Pam Bondi, and Tina Fey is Kristi Noem. So I'm going to play the skit for you. It's not the full skit, obviously. I'm just going to play a little snippet for you guys.
Okay. Oh my God. That's right. It's me, Kristi Noem. I spell my name with an I because that's how I thought it was spelled. And I'm the rarest type of person in Washington, D.C., a brunette that Donald Trump listens to.
I mean, it's pretty spot on, actually.
I mean, her frozen face, I think, is the funniest part of it.
Well, because that's exactly
what.
Yeah. And I mean, Amy Poehler wasn't a bad Pam Bondi either, with like the face.
Well,
in the movie.
And so the entire skit was supposed to be when Pam Bondi was before doing her hearing, and every response to the questions was like a slap back or a comeback or whatever to whoever was asking her the question. So it was very confrontational. Yeah. And I think there was even reports of her having like comebacks written on a piece of paper in preparation for it. So, which is kind of ridiculous. And so in this skit, they also bring in the other female, Kristi Noem, to talk about the ICE raids, and, she's toting a gun and everything like that. Yeah. And we've talked about Kristi. Like, how she's, especially in the beginning, was coming off very performative. Well, she
was like the Ice Barbie. Like
it was just
the outfits
super
and the
awkward.
hair and the Rolex and the
extensions and the lashes and just everything, right?
There was a lot there.
Now, I just want to point out that this administration, like you've talked, has been really good with meaning and comebacks, and even like, mentioning comebacks. Like Charlie Kirk was even mocked on South Park.
Yep.
And he took it with like in stride, made it his profile picture. Like we all kind of like, And I think it's funny because a lot of times online, the Democrats will be like, they're laughing at you, not with you. And we're like, well, also we're laughing at them because it doesn't really bother us.
Yeah.
So DHS has decided to use the Kristi Noem Tina Fey for an ad.
Oh my gosh.
Our government agents are working without pay. Luckily, my boys at ICE don't mind. They're in it for the love of the game. And how did I find them? By running ads like this.
Lord have mercy. If I put this one a problem, I can't help but solve it. If I bust out my headache, but for being my target. Extra come retarded, should have been about it. Think I like I'm Calvin, cause I piss on them regardless. Perks I just started, 4 perks feeling gorgeous. 529 for the gang.
They're just good at it.
I
They're
mean,
just
that
so
is
much
good.
funnier. They're so much funnier. And I just can almost see like Tina Fey being like, what? Yeah. They should have known that though. They should have known that they were going to do something like
I also
that.
want to
Everything
point out
that
that
they do, the White House and this administration takes and makes it funnier. Like the fat JD Vance faces and they're just the sombreros. Like they're just better at it.
I mean, for those of you who are listening right now, it cuts from Tina Fey talking about we do these ads, and it jump cuts. First of all, the first thing that you see is Kristi Noem in the back of a car with all her boys or whatever. But it's all a bunch of jump cuts of ICE doing operations and arrests. It looks freaking cool. Like if I wasn't a 46-year-old woman, I might go sign up to be an ICE officer after that ad.
Yeah. It's like how you feel when you see an ad when they used to make really good military ads that would air on television, like, you know, for the Marines or Coast Guard or whatever. And you'd watch them and at the end you're like, yes, like up USA. And that's kind of the vibe here. Although, I mean, everybody else, like progressives, I can hear it right now. It's a warrior ethos. And they're just like, so they're ripping families away and tearing up schools and putting babies in cages, you know, but
it's actually,
it was
when
smart.
you mentioned, I went through I was scrolling through my feed the other day, and there's been a few accounts that have been reporting, and I air quoted there, on the operations with ICE.
Yeah.
And I am not shocked, actually. I was about to say shocked, but it is kind of crazy the amount of either disinformation that you're seeing where, I don't know, playing a video and saying that it was a nice operation when it actually was police and the person being arrested, or the video is old or something along those lines. But I saw this chick that was kind of freaking out about them. And she was like, you know, I'm seeing things with my own eyes, but I would argue that almost every clip that I have seen starts from the moment of arrest.
Yeah.
And not at the moment of like what led to the arrest.
Zero
or
context.
questions.
Zero
Context.
Yeah.
Like there's no context about whether or not this person had done something beforehand. They threw something. There's a lot of reports of vehicles chasing ICE officers down the street, boxing them in, blocking them off with the vehicles. And I'm only putting that out there because I'm probably going to end up writing about this on my Substack. There's been this entire discussion about empathy. You know what I mean? Like, don't you feel bad, or this is horrible, or you're heartless if you're celebrating this, or if you condone this. But also at the same time, what I'm seeing is an extreme amount of manipulation with these videos that are cut short, don't have context, and people not willing to investigate them more. And I'm not even saying that these videos, that these officers are completely innocent and we can't question them. It's absolutely correct to question whether or not they're doing things constitutionally and operationally correct. But most of the videos that we're seeing are like 20 seconds long, and it's literally of just the arrest and nothing before and after. In fact, I saw one where the only thing you saw was the officer coming up to the windshield, breaking the windshield, and the woman screaming because there was a baby in the back seat.
Yeah. So
the entire narrative was about the glass and the baby in the back seat.
Yeah.
Correct. However, what they didn't show was that beforehand, the officer is saying the man had been told to pull over. He didn't pull over. So he was chased. The officer approaches, and once he breaks the glass, hears the woman screaming about the baby and comes to the realization that there's a baby. They de-escalate and remove the man from the driver's seat. and like try and calm down the situation.
Yeah,
but
those
those
are
two
inconvenient facts that are not presented.
Yeah, those two pieces, the beginning and the end, are removed from the video. Like I had to go digging for the rest of it.
Yep.
So we are in the midst of a propaganda war. And right now, the talking point is that while the president is doing peace abroad, he is bringing war here at home.
Yes.